Hi, my name's Greg Kelly. I'm known as Kel. I have young onset dementia. I was diagnosed with this around about 6 to 9 months ago. It's probably started a few years ago. I held executive positions in large financial and banking institutions here in Australia, both at state, regional sales manager and financial planning and mortgage broking levels. This is a terminal illness, and when I was told that by my specialists, I sort of laughed at them and I said, well, dementia doesn't kill people. And they said, well, it does. And I asked them how this occurs. And basically, within a 5-year period with young onset dementia, you won't know your family, you won't know anyone around you. And the next 18 months, 2 years after that, your brain forgets how to work your organs and you die of organ failure. So that answered my question as to how is it a terminal illness. I then find out that it's the second highest killer in Australia, it's the third highest killer in USA and the third highest killer in New Zealand. In 5 to 10 years, this disease is going to be the #1 killer in Australia. Now, let's just think about this. 5 to 10 years, that's 60 months to 120 months. That's not long. We have people in Australia 29 years of age. Up until 6 or 8 months ago, the youngest person worldwide was about 18, 19. In the USA, there is now a child, an infant, with infants Alzheimer's, under 1 year of age, not expected to live past 3 years of age. There is no cure for this. I can't go and have radiation. I can't go and have chemotherapy. They can't operate on me and take, the bad part of my brain out. All right? And we need to turn the spotlight on this. So I came up with an idea that I would ride my Harley the length and breadth of Australia, length and breadth of the USA, and length and breadth of New Zealand. And I would talk to whoever would listen. I basically approached the CEO of Harley-Davidson, as I did with Telstra and Wyndham Resorts and Accor and Best Western. And I've been fortunate where the CEOs have actually contacted me directly and said, we've watched you, we've listened to your radio interviews, we've looked at Kells Ride on Facebook and Kells Ride Instagram, and we want to have a cup of coffee with you. I'm hoping that you will do the same. I only want 30 minutes of your time. And surely the second highest killer in Australia and the third highest killer in the USA and New Zealand is worth sitting down and talking about for 30 minutes. You really have a place to play in my turning the spotlight on this worldwide. Greg Kelly is not known by anyone worldwide. Harley-Davidson, Ford, Telstra, Wyndham Resorts, Asia and Pacific, the Accor Group, which owns Pullman and other hotels, and the Best Western Group, they're all known worldwide. So I'm fortunate that I am now backed by people that are helping me turn the lights on. I need assistance, and basically I am trying to get someone that will go on this little thin can holder, drink holder, we won't call it a stubby holder, and we're going to put Kells Ride, the patch, which you can see on my bike vest behind me. That is the vest that I ride the 3 nations with, and it says Kells Ride for the Future 2017. And it's young onset dementia, USA, Australia and New Zealand. I'm currently putting together 2020, which is the UK, Ireland and Scotland. Getting back to this, I need someone that can produce these, and I know that they cost somewhere between $1 and $1.95 to produce. Little wetsuit material. We have Kells Ride on this side, and on the flip side here, we have your company. Now, these will be sold at the Harley-Davidson stores each afternoon. So let me explain this. Every afternoon, I ride and I finish at a Harley-Davidson store. The Harley-Davidson store are putting on a free barbecue. They are putting on a $200 open order. Telstra are setting up at each Harley-Davidson store. Telstra are helping with the barbecue. Telstra are putting an iPhone or an iPad up for raffle every day of my ride. Now, if we talk about this, Australia takes me 11 weeks. New Zealand takes me around about 4 to 5 weeks. And I am 16 weeks in the USA. Every afternoon, as I said, we finish at a Harley-Davidson store. Barbecue. I want to be able to sell these to all the biker community, whether you currently ride a bike, whether you have ridden a bike. I don't care if you drive a truck. I don't care if you walk there. $10 will buy you one of these. It'll have the memento of Kells ride, turn the spotlight worldwide on young onset dementia. On the flip side, hopefully, will be your company's logo. Bikers buy these and they want the little flat one. They don't want the great big round one. They like the little flat one because it can fit inside their pocket, just as I've done with my shirt there. It can fit inside the pocket. It's nice and flat. There are no problems, and they can ride their bike and it's not bulky in their leather jacket, or alternatively, they can put it in the front leather bag on their handlebars. These things will float around for years. All the money raised that afternoon, which is every afternoon of my entire worldwide ride, goes to the Dementia Association in each state, in each country. Now, for $10, you get this, and you get one ticket into Harley's $200 open order gift voucher this afternoon. For $20, you get this, and you get 2 tickets into the Harley-Davidson $200 open order, and you get 2 tickets into Telstra's iPhone or iPad that's getting raffled this afternoon. By the way, you put your email address on a form at the Harley shop each afternoon, and the Dementia Association will send you a receipt, say your $10 or $20 is a full tax deduction. It's the only time that you'll buy a drink cooler and get some tickets in to win an iPad and claim it's a tax deduction. What can I say? I was a financial planner. What I need is this. I need for someone to come on board and say, look, we already produce our little stubby holders. We can do these really good. Give us your logo, Greg, and we put it on there and away we go. That's your contribution. I am needing, right? I'm sorted with my bike, my car, accommodation. I'm needing to cover my fuel, and that's fuel for my vehicle and my bike. I travel 450 kilometers per day. I ride from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock and I have a cup of coffee and morning tea. I then ride from 11 to 1 p.m. I stop, I have coffee, I have lunch, and then I jump back on the bike after lunch and I ride through to 3:30, 4 o'clock, finishing at a Harley-Davidson dealer in each town every afternoon. Telstra are there, they invite Lord Mayors, they invite the media, and everything happens. Basically, the next morning, I head off then from Ford dealership, and they'll have media and that there, sending me off on a safe journey that day to end up in wherever. In Australia, it starts on the 12th of August at Gold Coast Harley-Davidson. I then proceed down and I'll be stopping at Byron Bay for a cup of coffee. There's about 200 riders going to follow me through to Byron Bay. They will then all head off home. I continue on the first day and I finish at Coffs Harbour. I then continue from Coffs Harbour through to Port Macquarie. Then I head off into Newcastle, each day stopping, each day having a Harley-Davidson barbecue with Telstra, etc., and selling the drink coasters together with people winning the iPads and the iPhones, etc., and people getting the $200 open order. So your logo is on here worldwide. When I get to Canberra in Australia, the PM is meeting me there and we're talking about young onset and what needs to be done. Sunrise and Koshi It looks like they're going to be interviewing me through Telstra, and I always talk about who my sponsors and my support people are. I need someone to help me with fuel. Fuel is a major concern for me at the moment because I'm going to have to borrow money. I don't really want the public contributing. I want to be able to give people back advertising, etc., for what they help me with worldwide. But as you can appreciate, a bike and a car every day doing 500 Ks, realistically, I've calculated out it's going to cost me somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 in fuel across 3 nations. It's about 8,000 or 9,000 just for the Australian tour. And at the end of the day, we have to do something. It's probably too late for me when we talk about what's going to happen in the next 5 or 6 years. But I need to do this for you. I need to do it for your employees, for their families. I need to do it for my family. I need to do it for my grandkids. I need to do it for your family and for your grandkids. It's the second highest killer in Australia. It's the third highest in the USA and New Zealand. I'm not asking for a donation here. I'm asking for you to help me turn the spotlights on this. And the way you can do it is assisting with doing things like this, but the thank you that you can get is your logo and your brand known worldwide that you assisted to turn the spotlights on young onset dementia. This is going to be an epidemic worldwide if we do not get a handle on this. This is going to be the #1 killer in Australia in the next 60 months to 120 months. If we don't get real money into research, and real money doesn't come from the struggling mum or dad who are putting their kids through school and paying off a mortgage, and they're the ones that are quite happy to give you 10, 20 bucks. I'm going to have a talk to Koshi and I want to talk to Sunrise about we get the top 500 companies in Australia and we get them to contribute half a cent out of every dollar. They keep 99.5 cents. They give half a cent to medical research. If we've got the top 500 companies in Australia, we've got massive money going into medical research. And then we get someone like Koshi or someone independently to look after that, and they put that money to the top 10 killers, of which dementia is #1, and cancer, and heart attack, and everything else that's out there. The top 10 killers, they proportion that money. Let me tell you, you do your own research. Look at Westpac made in profit for the last 6 months. Work out 0.5% of that, and then think about what the profits are for the top 500 companies just in this country, Australia. It's mind-boggling. We'll never have to ask people to contribute to Pink Ribbon, to breast cancer, for dementia. We'll never have to ask them to contribute to SIDS and Red Nose Day, etc. Because we will have the top 500 companies contributing big money into medical research. And when they list their companies in the BRW, here's the top 500. Here's the column that tells you what their profits are. And by the way, here's an extra column that says that's how much each company put into medical research. Now, the people in Australia who are buying their retail goods, etc., from the top 500 companies, it's the people in Australia that are given their profits. They can see that these companies are actually giving some back to solve the top 10 killers in the country. I want you to come on board. I am passionate. I have a terminal illness and I am dying. I am doing this for you, your family, your grandkids. Make no bones about it. I am going to do this. It's all set up. Australia, USA, New Zealand is happening. Google Kells Ride for the Future. Hop on Facebook and look at Kells Ride. Hop on Instagram. Hop on GoFundMe. I'm trying to raise about 40 grand. I'm not asking you for the 40 grand. I'm asking you just to give me some assistance. It's the big names behind me that will actually open up the doors. It's the big names behind me that will switch big spotlights on it. Every biker worldwide is getting behind me. I'm not talking about bikies. I'm talking about bikers. I don't care if you ride a mini bike. I don't care if you ride a postie bike. The biker movement worldwide is the largest group of people in the world. And when someone is sitting on the side of the road and needs help, it doesn't matter what you ride and it doesn't matter what you look like. A biker will always pull up and help another biker. I've put my hand up and I know what's currently happening worldwide. I know what's happening in Australia. I've got people riding 500 and 600 kilometres with their mates to get behind me and follow me and lead me into their town. A police escort has been organised for me in Seattle in the USA and into New York in the USA. This is big. I need your help. I'm not asking for much. I will fly to you. I will come and see you. I want a cup of coffee. Please, please, help me turn lights on it and allow me to help your family and friends. Because the number 2 killer rising to the number 1 killer, don't turn your back on it. Please, don't turn your back on it. I knew nothing about it until I got diagnosed. No one knows about the dementia associations until they get diagnosed. Then they all run for help. I never gave 20 cents to this previously. I knew nothing about it. But I'm going to turn that around. This is my legacy to humanity. And Kells Ride for the Future is exactly that. It's a ride for the future of all humanity. Jump on Facebook, Kells Ride, Instagram, GoFundMe. More importantly, my email is all lowercase, Kells Ride, KELLSRIDE @gmail.com. My mobile phone number is 0403 387 999. The ride starts on the 12th of August. Ring me. I'll come to you and I'll even buy you the coffee. I'll bring a packet of ice bobos. Tell me what sort of biscuits you like. Big hug from Kel. Please don't ignore this. Please. Because this disease attacks human beings. It's that simple. If you're human and you bleed, this disease is chasing you and it's chasing your family. And on the globe, it's going to try and stop it. Thank you. And I appreciate the 19 minutes of you watching this. If you can't help, pass it through to someone. Get it into TV stations for me. Radio stations. Please. You have a good day. And a big hug. Thank you.